Hey guys, and welcome to episode 7 of Martin's Rhythm Method. I'm Martin Cliffe from Voyager Project. Thank you for watching. It's another beautiful day here in Staffordshire. Spring is definitely here. In fact, it's so sunny I've had to close the curtains so that we can get a decent video shot without sunlight reflecting off the guitar too much. Okay, so this week we're continuing where we looked last week at moving chord tones, and we're just going to take it a little further. As I said, it's used in all kinds of music. From metal, country, jazz, you name it. It's shifting all over the place. It's a really, really useful technique. Now, if you don't know what a major 7th chord is, or a suspended 2nd chord, or something like that, then that's really something you need to go away and look up, because these kind of chords find their way into all kinds of music, and it's really important to be able to play them and to know where they are. Okay, so for a first example, what I'm going to give you is going back to the first Metallica song I ever heard, a song called Master of Puppets from the album of the same name. Now the example I'm going to use is where it sort of breaks down in the middle and there's a clean guitar part coming in, moving through the chords E minor, D, C sus2, A sus2, and then it's that A sus2 chord that then the bass note shifts on. It goes A sus2 with an A in the bass, A sus2 with a B in the bass, and then a very strange chord which is an A suspended 2nd with an E flat in the bass. Okay, so if I just run through that, I'll just play you the chords first. Okay, so it starts off with an E minor chord, and then it goes to a D, and it kind of goes up again it's another moving note. It moves up the top E string from a D sus2, which is open, to an ordinary D triad on the 2nd fret, and then to a D suspended 4th on the 3rd fret, okay, and then the next chord is a C suspended 2nd, and then we've got these A sus2, A sus2 over B, this weird chord, and then we're back to the E minor again. So played through, let's say there's 2 bits of movement. On the D chord you've got the ascending run on the top E string, and then you've got this shifting bass note over the A sus2. So from the top it goes something like this. Okay, hopefully you can hear that as well as playing the arpeggios, I've got those shifting notes, and they just make it a lot more interesting than just strumming the chords or even just arpeggiating the chords without any movement. In terms of the sound today, again I'm on newbie, I've got both pickups on in humbucker mode. I'm on my clean channel of my JSX, it's my fairly standard sound. The only slight difference is that I've just received a new TC Electronic G Major 2, which is good because my original G Major died earlier this week, so that was quite fortuitous that that arrived when it did. So I'm actually using, rather than my ordinary chorus model that I'd used previously, the tri-stereo chorus model in the G Major 2. But other than that, it's the same circular delay, bit of compression, a little bit of reverb. Another slightly more complex example from the metal genre, but just shifting bass notes, it's just that they shift a lot, comes from the Megadeth song from Countdown to Extinction called Foreclosure of a Dream. Now I've seen all kinds of ways of playing that. My way is probably not the easiest. I think it was originally played, it sounds like it was played on a 12-string guitar, But what you can do is, if you bar the B and E strings on the 3rd fret, and then you can just use this shifting bass note pattern. As you can see, it's a little bit tricky towards the end. It's been a while since I've played that. But essentially, if you ignore the notes that are being barred, all we've got is this. Which is quite interesting on its own, but then adding the extra notes in reinforces the harmonic context of the song. Okay, so there's a couple of examples from the metal genre, but of course this is used in all kinds of music. So going to the opposite end of the spectrum now, if we look at a modern-ish worship song called Make Me a Channel of Your Peace, this uses the same shifting textures within chords, and it makes it sound really beautiful. Okay, so breaking that down, the first bit is a D chord where essentially the middle note of the fingering is the one that shifts. Okay, it's the B string where the shift happens. So it goes from a standard major triad, a standard major chord, then the D switches to a C sharp on the 2nd fret, so you get a major 7th, and then you pull that off to the open string, the B, which gives you the D6 chord. And then it starts the same again with the D to the D major 7th, then it goes to an E minor and an A sus2. Again, another of these suspended 2nd chords that it's essential to know how to play. Okay, then it goes back to the E minor, and this time the descending run happens on the D string, where it's a 2, 1 and open, so that going from your standard minor chord to a minor chord with a major 7th in the bass, which is a slightly strange sounding chord, but in passing it works really well. It gives a bit of tension. And then to your standard E minor 7th chord, and then it resolves nicely with just E minor, A suspended 2nd, and then back to the D. And that time we've got the suspended 2nd on the A, which resolves up to an A major, and the same happens on the D. It's a D suspended 2nd that you then hammer on the 2nd fret with your 2nd finger to get the D major. Okay, so that's clean sounds. Next week we're going to be carrying on with this theme, but looking at moving chord tones within distorted tones. I hope this week's lesson has been useful to you. Please do comment if there's anything you want to look at, any questions you've got about my playing or my sound or anything really. Please subscribe. We've had a couple more subscribers this week, which is fantastic. Getting ever closer to that 100 mark when we'll have a prize draw. Please check out my website. It gives you lots of information on how you can hire me to play in your band or on your recording, if you want guitar lessons privately. And I will see you next week. Take care of yourselves.